Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, one nonprofit out of Louisville pays a visit to the mountains for a groundbreaking, which will expand addiction recovery services for women. Plus, protests continue at Columbia University in New York, where more than 100 people have been arrested.
Plus, we are tracking some more sunny weather as early as tomorrow. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Officials with Volunteers of America have broken ground on the expansion of a program which helps women through addiction recovery in Clay County. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more.
Volunteers of America's Freedom House has operated for 4 years of helping women with children seek addiction treatment.
We've served more than 400 women and more than 250 children in this program over the past 4 years. We've delivered 23 healthy babies that did not stay in the NICU, that got to come right home. So we're changing lives, we're saving healthcare costs, and we're helping this community really rally around a program that is so effective.
President and CEO Jennifer Hancock says the demand for their services has increased, needing a new space.
But unfortunately, the demand for our services is exceeding our space and our capacity here. So because of the generosity of the General Assembly and other philanthropic partners, we're able to break ground today and double the size of this program so that we can serve even more women and their children.
The expansion will allow officials to help women seek treatment while being able to keep their children.
We own this entire piece of property, and we already have 2 homes here, but the expansion will enable us to create a village, a community of small homes where they can live for a longer period of time on our campus. We are going to continue to transform this property into the homes for women and their kids.
Hancock says as they expand the campus, they will continue working to impact the lives of women struggling with addiction and give them another chance at life.
So when you think about the impact of this program and what it's going to do to change the trajectory of lives for each and every member of this community is really profound. So the fact that we'll be able to serve more than 300 families at a time will have a significant impact across the community and across the region.
In Clay County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Hancock says this would not be possible without support from the General Assembly and other partners to help them in their mission.
We are tracking some cloud cover and some hit or miss rain showers as we close out the work week on this Friday. Up on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, most of the moisture right now pushing into the Big Sandy Valley, zooming into Pike County. Also for places in Floyd County, pushing into parts of Johnson, also Martin counties. A few heavier downpours not too far away from US 119 over in downtown Pikeville, just to the north over into northern Pike County. And a live look from Pikeville, that current temperature up to 64 degrees. A busy day over in downtown Pikeville. Now we are tracking some more hit or miss rain showers, also some cooler air as we go into this evening. Notice a cold front up to 73 in Harlan, 75 in Jonesville, down to 57 for Irvin and 58 over in Jackson. That cooler air will continue pushing off to the south and east as we go into tonight. Also for this weekend, your forecast this evening, we are still tracking a few more spotty showers early in the evening, but we are drying out, also clearing out as we go into Friday night. Those lows in the middle to upper 40s to wake up in the morning. We see some more sunshine tomorrow and some below average weather by Sunday, possibly some frost by Sunday night. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Witnesses described a horrific scene outside the criminal courthouse in Manhattan today, where they saw a man set himself on fire. It happened while court was in session for former President Trump's hush money trial. CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports from New York, and we do want to warn you that the video may be disturbing for some viewers.
Outside the courthouse where jury selection was being finalized in former President Trump's hush money trial, witnesses saw a man pour liquid over his head and set himself on fire.
The male, he takes a couple of steps while he's on fire, then eventually falls onto a police barrier and falls down to the ground.
Officials rushed to extinguish the flames. The man was loaded onto a stretcher and taken to a nearby hospital in critical condition. Law enforcement officials say there is no ongoing threat to public safety.
With the magnitude of what's going on around right here, we'll reassess our security with our federal partners.
The chaos added to an already tense scene in Lower Manhattan. Before heading into court, Trump railed against a gag order limiting what he can say publicly about potential witnesses.
The gag order has to come off. People are allowed to speak about me, and I have a gag order, just to show you how much more unfair it is.
Prosecutors accuse Trump of already violating the order 7 times, and they'd like him fined. A hearing on that is set for next week. This week, lawyers chose 12 New Yorkers who will decide whether Trump falsified business records to hide an alleged affair ahead of the 2016 election. The jury includes 7 men and 5 women, among them a salesman, an investment banker, lawyers, and a speech therapist.
This jury is going to be in a fishbowl under a microscope. We will be watching their body posture, whether or not they're sighing, taking notes, rolling their eyes. Do they look bored?
Legal experts say this jury could be the most closely watched jury in history as they judge whether Trump is guilty on 34 felony counts. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Opening statements in this case are expected to begin Monday. Police say the burned man is 37 years old and from Florida, and that he was throwing pamphlets with conspiracy theory propaganda in the air before the incident. He's now in the hospital in critical condition. The Trump campaign and RNC are pledging to deploy 100,000 volunteers and lawyers to monitor vote counting in battleground states for November's election. It's part of what they describe as a stepped-up focus on election integrity by the GOP. The RNC and Trump campaign say they plan to recruit and train poll watchers and attorneys to monitor voting sites. They will also monitor ballot tabulation centers, including those where mail ballots are processed. Another member of Congress is ready to back a motion to remove House Speaker Mike Johnson from his position. Representative Paul Gosar becomes the 3rd member of the GOP to join the effort. Gosar, a Republican from Arizona, was seen on the House floor with Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, who are the co-sponsors of the motion to vacate the Speaker position. The earliest the motion could be brought to the floor is tomorrow. New York police officers have arrested more than 100 people at Columbia University. Today marks the 2nd day of demonstrations on and off the university's campus in Upper Manhattan. This comes as many pro-Palestinian protesters are denouncing Israel's war with Gaza. One of the arrests includes the daughter of Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. There have been moments where the protesting has led to violent confrontations with counter-protesters. The Biden administration is expanding Title IX protections for LGBTQ and pregnant students. The new rule requires schools to protect students from all sex discrimination, including childbirth and terminating or recovering from pregnancy. It also prohibits discrimination based on sexual orientation and sex characteristics in federally funded education programs. In addition, the Biden administration is expanding the definition of sexual harassment. The Biden administration has banned fossil fuel drilling on more than 13 million acres in the western Arctic. This includes about 40% of the land in the National Petroleum Reserve in Alaska. The remote reserve holds an underground emergency oil supply for the U.S. Navy, but it's also home to protected animal species, including polar bears and caribou. The action is a major win for climate and environmental advocates. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, one brand says its product is durable and sturdy. Well, one person tries out the slim mini wallet to see if it really works.
Plus, we are tracking a brief cool down by this weekend. Your forecast after this break.